It's time for Cats Talk Wednesday. Small town and big city joined forces. Vinny Hardy of Lynch, Kentucky, and Terry Brown of Louisville, Kentucky, team up to give you free-flowing, laid-back sports talk. Focus on Kentucky Wildcats, as well as pertinent information in the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball.
Here we are again, Cats Talk Wednesday, BS3 Network, rolling right on through summer TV, man. You enjoying that heat before winter comes and slaps y'all down again up there?
Yeah, we actually doing pretty good. It's the storms, man. It's the storms in the Midwest. That's what gets you, but we holding steady.
There you go. There you go. Good stuff, man. We hopped on here last week and hopped right off as the NBA draft was fixing to start. So we didn't cut into that. Didn't cause anybody to miss Reed Shepard going to the Rockets, Rob Dillingham getting picked by the Spurs and traded to the Timberwolves. Next day, Antonio Reeves goes to the Pelicans. Get to talk about all that. Get to talk about, well, you think you talked a little bit about your boy, JJ Redick, becoming the Lakers coach, and then Dalton Connect.
That's right.
Dalton Connect going from Knoxville to LA. So y'all got all kinds of stuff going on there in Lakerland, man.
And I don't understand much of any of it, to be honest with you. It's just I've had folks kind of what's going on with LA. Look, man, the Lakers have never been really a great run franchise. They just happen to be LA, and I mean, just there's no front office acumen going on. So I don't know what's going on. But the thing is, as bad as it's been, and probably you'd have to go back to the ownership when the team moved. The rest of it's just kind of dumb luck,
Man. So you're saying,
which sounds crazy for 11 championships in LA, but a lot of it was just dumb luck, right? You end up with Baylor and West, right? And you compete and you go to the finals a whole bunch, and the Celtics beat your brains in. But since then, because Wilt wanted to come, so forced to trade. Kareem wanted to come, forced to trade. The coin flip got Magic, right? So. And I forgot who we gave up for the draft rights for Worthy.
Mm.
But yeah, somebody today was on Twitter who was the last big free agent to sign with LA? After LeBron, I was like, probably Shaq.
Yeah.
And that's 96, and Bron's 2019?
Yeah. So you're saying that if the Lakers organization was well run, y'all would have 25, 30 titles? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, and look, I'm gonna say it. Longtime listeners know I say it. You've heard me. I've told the wife this. The Lakers' whole get down of we will have 2 top 10 players and figure it out. It's so simple. It's so dumb, but it has worked to the tune of 17 championships. Like it shouldn't. Like that's not a plan that you can be like, that's there's no formulas or anything. We just get 2 of the top 10. And generally when they get 2 of the top 10, they win at least one championship.
Man. So just what LeBron signs a 2-year deal, $104 million, and Bronny signs his contract. So where you at on all that?
My whole thing is that those top guys don't get paid what they're worth because of the salary structure. Like LeBron is worth $50 million in LA. It just is. Now people are like, why won't LeBron retire? Like LeBron is set for generations, but he ain't gonna do nothing else that's gonna give him $50 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as he can, he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad about that. My whole thing is because once you hang them up, that's it. Right? Once that's it, that's done. So I'm from I was never mad at Jerry for he kept playing.
Yeah.
Now, was it sad for me to see him in a Seahawks uniform? Yeah.
Mhm.
Reading the reports coming out of Broncos training camp, like, oh, this has got to be it. And it was, yeah. But my thing is, why do y'all care
Mhm.
when these guys retire?
Mhm.
And we talk about legacy, and I'm like, not one person realistically talks about MJ on the Wizards. Not one.
No.
In fact, most of us act like that never happened, right?
Yo.
Your man Olajuwon. We see the clips, the photos, him on the Raptors, and I think it was Patrick Ewing on the Magic.
Yeah.
Like, but that is not what their memory is. Like, that's not how it works. Like, the last thing we see doesn't overtake everything else,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Mhm.
that's not how any of this works.
Mhm.
It was so sad seeing Willie Mays on the Mets. Like, but that ain't what we talked about when he passed away. Like that, it
Mhm.
just isn't.
Yeah.
Like, is your core memory of Emmitt Smith on the Cardinals?
Nope.
Is that your? Oh no! Like, that's not how any of this works.
Mhm.
So, keep playing. I don't know if they'll be better next year because the West is a monster.
Yeah.
I mean, San Antonio is going to be better. Dallas, objectively, is going to be better. Yeah, the Rockets are in the Western Conference.
They coming. They coming.
I know they're in the Western Conference.
On our way. On our way.
They're in the. I'm conceding that they are in the Western Conference. But you got to factor Minnesota is going to be better. I love that for Rob. I love that for Rob. Like that's a good fit. Like I love that for Rob. I was selfishly thinking, okay, maybe he might get a game or two for the G League team here in Iowa. But the GM for Tim Wolf said, no, we got something for him day one. I'm like, well, guess I'm gonna have to go up there and see him, and I will. I'm gonna go see Rob because I will definitely do that. Minneapolis is going to become my place to go and see these guys and everything. But I like I said, I don't know. Did Lakers do enough? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's shameful because when it comes to the playoffs, they can take care of everybody except the Nuggets.
Yep.
I mean, woo.
As currently constructed, yes, that's the kryptonite.
Yeah, and the frustrating thing is the Lakers haven't played bad.
They haven't, and I'll concede that they've been right there until the 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter or something.
Of those 8 losses, I mean, 6 of them could have gone the other way. That's the frustrating thing to me. And it's not like 2 years ago in the Western Conference Final, Bron and AD played well, but Jokic was in his bag.
Yeah, he sure was. Him and Murray, and the others. It's just a little too much for the Lakers.
little too much, but I'm excited that Reed's down there in Houston because again the Rockets are in the Western Conference, so good for them. and Reed signed up for what, 40-something million? He was never coming back. He was never coming back.
No, not at all.
I don't care what it NIL versus 45 million guaranteed.
Absolutely.
Do y'all hear yourselves?
That holding out hope.
Kid. Yeah, and that. Yeah, but that green gonna spin wherever he goes. Like, come on, man.
That's it.
No, we can't compete. If you getting that, you gotta get it.
Yeah. And once he displayed he was that caliber. It wasn't one good game and 4 bad games. It was consistent. Hey, this dude, okay, he's proven that he's can play and really play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he wasn't lucking into nothing, and he's out here winning games. And if you take him off the floor, you don't beat Mississippi State without him. You don't win at Knoxville without him. Several games where
Yeah.
without him, you can take 4, 5, 6 wins out of the win column. So yeah, and then listening to Ime and Rafael Stone there in Houston, and once they identified him and did all their homework, and he was their guy. I mean, they tweeted out the night of the draft, "We got our guy." So they, top 3 pick. You can't, even though Mark Pope is there and Shep room with Pope, he can't, you love to see it, but hey, if you're in that same position,
it's a business, baby.
More than likely going, yeah, absolutely. Michelle with a comment, fourth. And yes, hey, what's up? Michael Lawson from Catch Chat Pod had him on, and his brother Mark a few weeks ago. What's up, Mike? Appreciate y'all in the comments. If you're out there watching on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, subscribe, follow, and get in the comments. Drop a comment. Y'all know we'll read them and put them up on the screen and all that good stuff. Jason Huber, Michelle, everybody jumps in there, so feel free to do that. And coming up at 7, we got a first-time guest. We had a lot of multiple guest appearances from a lot of different people throughout the years, but we got UK relief pitcher coming off a trip to Omaha where he played a big role in the Cats getting there. Johnny Hummel is going to hop on here for a few minutes and talk with us and talk some baseball and all kind of good stuff. So looking forward to talking to Johnny Hummel, talk a little UK baseball. Terry still repping with the shirt. Terry was in Omaha, so we still riding that Omaha wave, man. Whiteboard.
I got my memorabilia. Like I said, I've been thinking, and man, every time I think about that Saturday, I don't think I've had a better in-person sporting experience.
Man,
I mean, I've seen my teams do lots of great things, but in person,
and for that to jump to the top of the list, that says a lot. That means
it was crazy. Like I said, and we'll get into it, but I was sitting kind of in the unaffiliated fan section. So I had my section. Oh no, we cheered for the Cats here, baby.
You baptized your section. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. I said this is what we gonna do. Like we gonna cheer when the Cats do something. There's a couple of NC State fans around us, but I said no. If you ain't got a team, you got one now. So, but yeah, just great. Every time I think back on that, just fantastic.
And you said the NC State people were nice too. You ran in the ones you ran into was nice folks. You know how some fans are, but
because when I got to the baseball village where they got all the memorabilia and all that kind of stuff, you see all the teams because by Saturday everybody was still alive.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, everybody was still alive, and so everybody's kind of high-fiving. But Tennessee fans going to Tennessee fan.
Yeah.
And congrats to them. But
yes.
but Florida State. I'm trying to. I don't think I saw any like Virginia fans off the top of my head.
Let's see, A&M, Florida State, North Carolina. You see any Tar Heels out there?
A few, and one North Carolina person was like, basically, I'm trying to remember, like something about how this feels like a Final Four because Kentucky and North Carolina are here, so it feels like a basketball Final Four.
There you go.
kind of thing. I said, we should make this a habit as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I still don't like that baby blue, and I still don't like Tennessee. They low down, damn dirty.
Mm-hmm. Always will be. We did. I saw you begrudgingly give congratulations to our guy Will West, and I congratulated a couple of Tennessee fans Brock Webster and Amanda Watson. I interact with them quite a bit on Twitter, and so I sent them a little congratulations message. But yeah, so you know, you know,
Whatever,
I,
Tennessee.
I was pulling for Texas A&M the whole way, and they did what they had to do. They did that thing. Congratulations, and
those weirdos. Texas A&M just weirdos, man. Like they whole get down, they whole vibe is just weird in College Station. Like they got cadets, but it's not a military school, and they don't have cheerleaders, and they got the dudes with these choreographed. It's a lot of weird stuff, and I got to be careful. My sister-in-law is a Texas A&M grad, so I'm gonna be nice, but I'm like, yeah, y'all a little weird, man.
they got that collie dog. What's that got to do with anything?
Yes, but welcome to the SEC because is Auburn the Tigers or the Eagles? Like I don't you let me know. Is it the Crimson Tide or an elephant? You let me know.
That's true. But we used to that, and we accept that. You know, it's just Hube. Fellas, what's up for Chicago? Oh, you going to your city, rolling through Indy now, headed to watch the Phillies destroy his. Oh, he's a Cubs fan too. Just,
yeah,
look.
and the craziest thing about Hube, like he's in, I forget where. Jason, let me know where you are in Kentucky. But the fact that we had to go all the way to Omaha and meet outside Gate 2 at the College World Series is the craziest thing. It was the craziest thing ever.
We always appreciate you jumping in the comments, Hube. And look, since you going to Wrigley to watch the Phillies, probably like you said, you've been objective and probably being real. Beat your Cubs. You're a Cubs fan. The lovely Mrs. Terry Brown is one of the elite rarefied air Cubs fans. So since y'all are playing the Phillies, permission to join the Fly the W gang this weekend, because y'all know I'm a Braves fan and can't stand the Phillies. Permission to root for the Cubs for these next few games.
Love to see it. I think that's the hashtag this year.
Oh,
yeah, okay. She's kind of taking a back seat on the Cubs.
What?
Just she got frustrated when they got rid of everybody from 2016. Like,
that was stupid.
Huber's Versailles. I love Versailles. Eventually I got to take the missus through bourbon country, through horse country.
Ooh, yes, you're gonna love it.
Well, I can't remember who it was.
Tour some distilleries.
We were somewhere here in Iowa, and someone had visited Kentucky and was talking about how beautiful it was around the horse farm. I'm like, yeah, like it is gorgeous. You know, coming in, I guess from any direction into Lexington, it's beautiful. I love getting off 64 and going through Woodford County. You get to see the castle. You get to see all the horse farms. It is beautiful.
Yo, for sure.
Yeah, I can't think who was telling me. All right, said they had done that.
Taking a tour of distillery if you get time. I mean, if you want to go to, Makers is out and about a little bit, but you want to go to City Five, go to Buffalo Trace in Frankfurt, or go to some in Lexington. Get your bourbon on, take a tour, do a tasting, get an indoctrinator.
Well, we got a place where we get our adult beverages, and they got a huge selection, and every now and then they'll have like a taste test and all this kind of stuff. And they had a section one day about all these different bourbons, and I'm like, look, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all something. I'm from Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all can't be giving me no Iowa bourbon or Colorado bourbon. The guy like, I got a story. Ain't no story.
No.
But Hubert, I saw your comment, and that's where my wife is talking about the Cubs and Ricketts. You would have thought, right, 10 years ago, these folks buy the Cubs, and we're going to be the ones to lift the curse, right? The Ricketts pissed away all that goodwill, and that's what got the Cubs fans upset. Because, Vinny, as you and I have talked about before, for a lot of these professional teams, it's all about making money. Winning a championship is incidental to the bottom line, right? Talking about my Lakers. They don't necessarily have to compete for a championship, But hey, we got LeBron. Come watch him play. That's a thing, right? Like, hey, we still got Kobe. You got people still coming to the seats. You still got crazy people going to Madison Square Garden, right? And you still got people showing up at Wrigley Field.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they took all the goodwill from that championship and they didn't keep anybody from that team.
They went into Marlins mode after they won, man.
And so as my wife explains it, that's not what Ricketts, the owner, said when they bought the team. Story goes, he told people that's where he met his wife in the bleachers. Like, he's a fan first, and all this kind of stuff. And then they win, and it's great. And now everybody got to go. It's tough when your team isn't trying to win.
I mean, that was a squad, and even though they were, everybody outside of Cleveland, because it was, two teams. Somebody's going to break a drought by winning that World Series. But the Cubs are more nationally known than Cleveland.
Right.
I was just as familiar with WGN as I was WTBS growing up. You get home from school, Harry Carey, Steve Stone, Sean Dunston, Andre Dawson, the whole Mark Grace, Ryan Sandberg.
Andre Dawson was an Expo first. Let me just. I'm gonna let. He's changing his hat, so we ain't got no Expos in the Hall of Fame. Come on now. Anyway, do what you want, Andre. Do what you want, but.
So so when I remember 89, they had a good year. I think lost to the Giants. They pop up and have a good run. And so when 2016, I'm, part of me is rooting for them. Hey, I've been watching them struggle. I know about the curse, know about the 108 years. And hey, let's see the Cubs do it. I got Roy Wood Jr. had a victory robe and all that, right? So
yes.
So to see them finally do it, and just like when Boston did it a few years before, now I can die in peace and been waiting all these years, and the Cubs 108 years and all this, and they'll never forget where they were when that final out got recorded. And if you got sons and fathers and sons and mothers, family members generationally been suffering and all of that, and then for it to just, like you said, it's just evaporated. These dudes just blew it up like that. They should still be.
And the White Sox the same way.
Yeah.
Everybody always forgets about the White Sox. Everybody forgets the White Sox won and ended like 88 years. That's the streak nobody talks about. Everybody knows Boston. Everybody knows Chicago.
Bless your heart, man.
But the thing too around Wrigley is, well, you've been to Wrigley. It's like right in the neighborhood.
Like I've been by it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is right in the neighborhood. But the owner's been buying all this stuff and making it all the stuff around Wrigley. And again, I'm no Cubs fan, no diehard.
Touche.
Thank you, Mr. Hubert.
Sacrifice Vlade like that. Y'all ought to be ashamed.
Yeah. But look, I love Chicago. Like, I'm not going to pretend to be diehard because I'm still a baseball orphan.
Yeah.
But I'm on board because she's on board, and it's just, again, when your team is not even trying to win, or my favorite is when these teams, especially like in baseball, where there's no cap, they always talk about how broke they are. Stop telling me how broke you are when I know y'all bringing in money like that. The math ain't mathing.
Yeah.
Because Wrigley Field, as Jason points out, is packed. Some of the people I follow were at the game last night. Like, the Cubs are terrible right now, but it was jam packed. Wrigley is going to be jam packed.
Always.
I think Fenway, is up there. Is going to be jam packed.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Truist? I don't know what y'all got down there in Atlanta, because y'all get new stadiums, like
just for the fun of it, you know.
Like y'all have had 4 stadiums in my lifetime. That seems ridiculous to me. Like the stadium where Hank hit his home run, that's 5 stadiums ago. Anyway, you know, like in the same way, I'm still say Staples, because I'm not saying crypto. There's always going to be a crowd there. There's always going to be a crowd at Madison Square Garden. Like, and so what's your incentive? Most teams, they have to win to get people into the door, to get merchandise off the shelf. The Cubs are going to be the Cubs.
Yep.
That's the thing. That's been the whole get down for all those years. They had some heartbreaking years, but some of those years they wasn't even trying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then when they started trying and actually got over that hump, now they're back to not trying. That stinks. That just stinks. You know, that's the one thing I'll say about your Cowboys is Jerry trying to win.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, it feel like he trying to win.
He just need to try to step back every now and then. Yeah. I mean, and what did Mike McCarthy think? Mike McCarthy's growing frustrated with Jerry Jones meddling. He was meddling. He was meddling when Jimmy was there. That's why
he's
Jimmy
been doing this for 30 years. Like,
Absolutely.
what are we doing? That's like, talking about George Steinbrenner. He's meddling. Like, that's what he do. Like, that's what that owner. Like, you cannot be surprised.
Yeah, they always try to flex. I can rant on that forever, and you can too. But our guest is backstage in the Biz 3 Network green room, joining us for the first time, taking time out of his off season to hop on here with his TB. He pitched 31 innings this year, 3.48 ERA, 41 strikeouts, 11 walks, 383 pitches thrown, 243 for strikes. Talking about UK reliever Johnny Hummel. Johnny, man, welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Appreciate you hopping on, man.
Yeah, no problem. It's been, it was a fun year, and I'd like to share my journey throughout it because, it was a record year for us at UK. So I appreciate it.
So when did you all start feeling like, hey, Omaha, this team can get there? Like, when was it the switch that kind of flipped that you were like, the record is good, but I'm feeling something a little bit different with this squad?
I think it felt, at first our record was really good in SEC play. The first half, we were maybe 15 wins and 3 losses. And we're like, okay, well, our number is 16 to host. And we were like, we still have half the season to play. And so our first step that we took was we're already at 15 and we're unstoppable right now. And, it was a progress of steps that we took till we got to like thinking we have a chance at Omaha. I know first steps we took were starting the season off right and then starting SEC playoff right. And we did all that. And then it became real, after Ole Miss, when we went down there and swept at Ole Miss, it became pretty real of we can do this. And, we have a great chance of making history. And then we rolled into actually, it kind of basically just started off with a sweep against Georgia at home to open up SEC play. That was one thing that we were like that was an eye opener. And then we went on the road for our first big time SEC series, and we swept that. And so it was just multiple of steps and goals that we had throughout the season. And then once it got later into the back half, we were like, we have a chance to be top 3 seeded in the nation. Going into regionals, we'll be there. And, we had our end goal in mind, but we just wanted to make sure we took day by day of doing what it took to get into that stage.
Absolutely. And we've heard Coach Mangione and heard a lot of you and your teammates talk about maybe the wake-up call or the crossroads moments was that Kennesaw State series where they came in and kind of roughed y'all up a little bit and took the series.
Yeah.
Heard Coach Men say that they saw the other side of Coach Minge. So we know Coach Minge and how humble he is and how. What's that other side of Coach Minge like? Did he really rip into y'all and flip that switch?
Yeah, he ripped into us pretty good. You know, that meeting after the game, after the weekend set, that meeting, it was a side of Minge that I've never seen in my life. But to be a head coach and to be that good of a head coach, you have to have that one side to you. And he only used that one side when he absolutely needed to. Other than that, he was the same guy every day. He was perfect for us. He was at every single. Whenever we needed to hear to help us better as a team, he let us know. And after that Kennesaw State series, you know, he really let us know, and he helped us flip that switch as a team. So that was an eye-opening sight to see. But after that one, you know, it wasn't that bad anymore. You know, every once in a while we get a little bit of a flip of a switch from Coach Minge, but you know, that's what a head coach does. You know, head coach is the same person every day, but whenever his team needs to hear what they need to hear, he won't back down. He won't be afraid to let us know.
Yeah.
So I've got a question for you, John. Now, I'm just a fan. I've been a college baseball fan for a long time, and I always said, if the Cats ever get to Omaha, I'm going, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm out in Iowa now, 2 hours away from Omaha, and I told the wife, once that Georgia series, I'm like, look, I'm going to go.
Mm-hmm.
My question is that first Saturday, I know what I felt like in the stands. You're in Omaha, they got the trophy outside. They got all this hoopla, and I look up,
Yeah.
and it's the UK logo on the jumbotron,
Yeah.
and the announcer announces everybody. I'm like, this is really, really cool. What was going through your mind? Because Vinny, like, it was like a lot of pomp and circumstance before that first pitch. And so what's kind of going through your mind, your guys' mind in the dugout? You're stretching. You want to have it like it's another game, but it's kind of not another game.
Yeah. No, so it really helped us going up there on Wednesday. You know, we didn't play until Saturday. We went up there on Wednesday and we practiced at Charles Schwab on Thursday. And that's whenever all of us could really take it in and we could all understand the magnitude of where we're at and being able to practice and feel the field and hit on the field, take ground balls, throw, stand on that mound and just look around and you see 27,000 empty seats, but knowing those 27,000 will be completely packed. Having that ability to practice there on Thursday, we were able to get the nerves away to where it came Saturday game time. You know, we were all so amped up just to start playing. And it felt in the dugout to all of us, it felt just like another game, you know, because being able to play against SEC teams throughout the whole entire season, you get that crazy magnitude level of series games. So being in Omaha, being at Charles Schwab on Saturday, about to play NC State, about to play the first game Kentucky's ever been at, the nerves were low. We felt like we were prepared. We felt like we were ready for it. And, you know, we went out there, we competed, we did everything we could do. And it just felt like another game of all of us playing together. And, you know, it was towards the back end. It was the last step for our lives that year. And we just took it all in and we played for each other. We didn't let the big crowd, big atmosphere, all of the antics that the NCAA does for the College World Series, which was amazing. But we didn't let that like affect us how we were going to play because we were just so used to having that high magnitude level of play because of the SEC. And so, I mean, we took it all in. We loved every second of it, but you know, it wasn't a whole, oh my God, how are we going to do this? It was more along the lines of like, we can do this. We can play at this level. Like we can play in Omaha. And it just depends on how we play throughout the year.
You mentioned how amped up you guys were. So for you personally, as a reliever,
Mm-hmm.
how do you approach every game? How do you watch every game? Because sometimes they might need you, sometimes they might not. Are you locked in and on 10 the whole time, or you just kind of chill the first 3 or 4 innings, and then as the game plays out, oh, they might need me? How do you get yourself ready every day?
So I go about it. I do the exact same thing every single game day. I always I coach first base for the first 4 innings. So I'm down there when we're hitting, and that keeps me pretty locked into the game. That keeps me knowing where the umpire's calling the strikes, how the field's playing, how, what like the conditions are. So I'm pretty locked in for the first 4 innings, and I did that at every single game. For the however many games that we played this season, I coached first in the first 4 innings, and whenever it was the bottom of the 5th, after the bottom of the 5th or in between, depending on whether game's like, if it's super close or if it's maybe like a 3-run, 4-run lead, I usually go down to the bullpen in the middle of the 5th or at the end of the 5th. So that's what I did every single game. There were some games where I might have thrown at Mizzou. I threw 3.1 innings on Friday, and I was shut down for Saturday. So I just coached first base. I was also shut down on Sunday also. So I just coached first base for those games. But whenever I am hot to go that game, I'm pretty locked in. I watch every pitch. I kind of look at the other team's swings, see how their swings are playing, see what pitches they're taking early in the count. It's just a bunch of little things that I just keep tallied in my head throughout the beginning of the game. And being a reliever, you have that strength because you get to understand, you get to see how the game plays out. So whenever you end up going in the game, you already know how the umpire's calling strikes, how the hitters are swinging, how their game philosophy, game plan is against us is. And, it really helps. But every single time I'm on that field, I'm always completely locked in no matter what.
So you mentioned that you coach the first 4 innings. Did you just say, I want to coach first? Did you get voted to coach first? Did you rock, paper, scissors for it? How did you get to be the first base coach?
So early in the fall, that was this past year was my 6th year playing college baseball. So I've seen a lot. I know a lot, and I understand what it takes to handle baseball, from a mental side, even from the sport itself. So early in the fall, we would have inter squads, and the days that I wouldn't pitch would be, I'll pitch one day out of the week, and the other days when we have other 3 scrimmages, I do everything you do. So Coach Minge was like, "Hey, you want to coach first base for these scrimmages?" I was like, "Yeah, that's not a big deal. It's fun. It's better than just standing there." So I was like, "Yeah, might as well." And then later on, he's like, "Do you like coaching first base?" And I was like, "I don't mind it. Yeah, it's pretty cool." And he was like, "Would you mind coaching first base in the season? Because we don't have coaches coach first base. We only have players coach first base." And I was like, "Oh, I mean, yeah, I would love to." So then he hosted a little mini tryout, probably in the beginning of the spring before our season started. He hosted a little mini tryout, and there was only 3 of us over there, and he was like, "Yeah, I want you to coach first base." And the other guy that was trying out with us, or tryouts, he was like, the other player that wanted to do it, he was you'll first base whenever Johnny go in and on the bull. How it all came with it. It was awesome to do that because there were some weekend series that I never got to pitch, but being able to run out to that field and stand at first base and still look around and take it in, it was unreal because you can't do that at the dugout really, but whenever you're on the field and you feel so engaged to where you have to make sure you're looking at everything. There were so many jobs that I had to do as a first base coach to where I'd have to be locked in, and I could be able to look around on a foul ball. I would never stop moving as a first base coach. I'd be walking up and down, I can't sit still. So I'd look around and I'd just look at the stadium. So it was pretty cool coaching first base, and it helped me lock in, and it helped me become a better pitcher throughout the season.
That's good stuff. We got a comment from Jason Huber, one of our listeners, and he had a big role with the baseball squad all year as well. I'm gonna pop it up there. What was it like walking back to the team hotel after that College World Series win on Saturday?
So that was pretty interesting. That was a fun thing that we did. You know, our hotel was only a 5-minute walk, and we have the College World Series there's so much more to it than what the human eye like sees. You know, there's interviews constantly after games, and there's press conferences constantly after games, to where they may only want 4 guys to do it. So you have 25 other of our teammates are already on the bus waiting to go home. And there's a couple of us, I had to do a press conference after that Saturday game, and you know, we were like, just, we can walk back, like it's only 5 minutes away. And apparently, like, we had that set in our mind because we thought the bus already left, and we were walking out of the Charles Schwab to get on the bus or to like drop our stuff on the bus, and it's still there and everybody's still there. So we're like, screw it, let's all just walk. Because there was thousands of people. There was like thousands of people surrounding our bus. And at the end of it, we made it back before our bus even made it back. So we were like, we dropped our stuff off in the bus, and we just started walking. And after that, we thought that we might get some like trash talk or something like that, but it was nothing like that. You know, everybody was so supportive, especially because there was 3 other SEC school teams there, and all the SEC fans, even like Texas A&M, Florida, Tennessee, they were all like cheering for us because it was kind of, this College World Series was kind of SEC versus ACC type of deal. So they were happy that we beat the SEC. We beat an ACC team. So we were walking back, and everybody's like cheering for us. You know, we loved the crowd, and our team was so personable that we stopped thousands of times to sign autographs for little kids, take pictures with people. You know, my buddy Jackson Novy was walking with Mitchell Daly, and Mitchell Daly was the one that hit the walk-off home run to win that game. And you know, Jackson Novy was walking with Mitchell Daly, and Mitchell Daly just kept getting stopped to ask pictures and like sign autographs. So, but being able to walk back and you know, we thought it was like we didn't know what to really expect of like how it would look from the outside, but we were just like, no, let's just walk back, because we were on top of the world. We were like, oh, we just won our first game in Omaha. This first game we played, we won. Let's walk back. Let's enjoy this moment. And we 100% did enjoy the moment, and the people just absolutely loved it. And you know, it was just cheering nonstop, and being able to feel support like that from all baseball fans, but the support that we got from the Kentucky fans, BBN, as we're walking back was unmatched, and it felt so good to us. And we were just so happy that we could give that back to them. We could give that back to, we're going to walk back and we're going to acknowledge everybody that's like cheering for us. And at the end of it, we were just like, this is probably the best decision that we made, because that doesn't happen. You don't see a college team after a College World Series walk back to their hotel. But, you know, we had that philosophy of let's get weird. So it just kind of fitted. It just kind of fit everything. And, you know, we did that. It was just so much fun. And it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Well, I thank you for that once-in-a-lifetime experience, because it was special. I told Vinny, you know, when the game was over and the fight song is playing and you guys are mobbing on the field and the Kentucky fans in the stands, everybody's hugging and high-fiving, I was on the right field side, I was amongst NC State fans that Saturday. And so with some other non-affiliated fans. And like I told Vinny, I said, oh, y'all Kentucky fans now. And so while Kentucky's batting, I'm doing all this. We're doing all this. And it was just, I've said it. I've seen a lot of my sports teams do a lot of things, but this is the number one thing I've ever seen in person. It was just fantastic. Yeah. Everything that went into it was fantastic. And I got little mementos.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, I spent quite a lot in the baseball village. So my wife was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Hey, College World Series, baby. It don't count."
Yeah,
That's
that
right.
baseball village was pretty cool. You know, it was pretty neat. There's concerts going on till 2 a.m. You know, we could hear that. We could hear it from our hotel, but you know, it was so much fun to be there, and it was absolutely amazing to be able to give that to the state of Kentucky and BBN all around. So it was awesome.
John, you mentioned the whole SEC, ACC, vibe at the World Series. You're from Charlotte, North Carolina, ACC country. So did you
Yeah.
grow up rooting for one of those schools on Tobacco Road? How did that whole thing go?
No, I never had a college team growing up. You know, my parents went to like some small schools up in Pennsylvania, and so I never had like a true college team. I never was a diehard college sports advocate at all, really. You know, football, I cheer for Notre Dame, but I mean that's about it. Like it wasn't so much, but being from here, there's 1,000 of my friends that went to NC State, went to UNC, and it was I got text messages from some of my friends and some of my teammates that are NC State fans or Chapel Hill fans, and some of them were like, "Oh, it'd be pretty nice to see Chapel Hill versus Kentucky in the final." I was like, "Yeah, that would be nice because that means we're in the finals." But the stuff I got from NC State friends was they were like, "Oh, well, hated that you beat the Wolfpack, but I'm happy for you." So it was kind of like a full circle moment for me because ACC tournament is right here in Charlotte, and I've been there before. I've seen some of them, and being able to sit in the stands and watch that ACC tournament, and to me, I never really thought I would be on that stage, and for me to go to the holy grail of college baseball, Charles Schwab, and be able to compete against those teams that I watched at one point was just a surreal moment, and like every little experience that I had throughout the year was just unreal, and that's because of everybody else. That's because of the whole entire state of Kentucky. That's because of BBN. Without the fans and without the support, we wouldn't mean nothing to anybody. So being able to do all that I was just grateful to do that, and our whole team was ecstatic just to have that kind of support, and it made it so much easier for us to play.
So who you repping? You got the MLB hat. Is that a Pirates hat or
this is the Tigers. This is the Tigers.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Detroit.
I just like the logo. I'm never a big fan of Detroit Tigers. I just like the logo, so I bought that hat. I also have a Mariners hat, and I'm not a Mariners fan either, but I like the colors, so I like the hat.
I got you.
I understand.
Yes.
I have them all.
Mm-hmm.
I collected all the major league hats, so I've got 120 caps upstairs. So I'm with you. Sometimes you just want to get a hat because it looks nice.
Yeah. We'll pop a couple comments back up. Our guy Jason Huber said y'all took pictures with his sons on the walk back to the hotel. That experience made their trip. So, all the support that you talk about you received, and then look at the impact you guys make. Those guys never gonna forget that, man. Never gonna forget it.
There were so many little kids out there that I'm like, it was, Vinny, I can't even put into words what it was after the game. Just, just for blocks around the stadium, just high-fiving everybody. Like, like you were saying, Johnny, just high-fiving a Tennessee fan. I didn't like it, but they were like, way to go. I'll take it, whatever. I feel dirty, but sure.
Yeah. It was kind of weird to all of us knowing feeling like we have support from the teams that we competed against in the regular season, but they're so
right.
I mean, the fans were so good to us. It wasn't anything bad. We never got hateful comments as we're going throughout Omaha. So I think everybody realized where we were at as a whole, as a fan. Like all the fans understood where they were at, and I think they put aside the hatefulness between teams, and they really helped all teams and all of us players really enjoy where we were at, because I think they understood like this is a once in a lifetime experience for most of us. So they were really good, and no complaints for Omaha, but being able to I mean, being able to take pictures and stuff like that. After our final game at Omaha, I gave away 3 pairs of my cleats.
Mm.
And I was like, I had 7 pairs of cleats. I don't need 7 pairs of cleats coming back to Charlotte. And I thought, the best thing that I could do is give away some of my stuff. So I was always a big fan of giving back. How I said I always did my routine. I did the same thing every game. 30 minutes prior to first pitch, I would always stand down whatever line we were at, first base, third base line. I would stand probably about halfway down there, and I would sit up against the wall and talk to all the little kids that are there and give them signatures. So I was always a big fan of giving back. So I just wanted to be grateful where I'm at, and I always thought without them this wouldn't mean a thing. So I wanted to do as best as I could to give back.
Absolutely. You mentioned, getting love from the other SEC schools and how different that was in Omaha, but going back just as you come to Kentucky and learn about the rivalries, because Terry is from Louisville originally. I grew up on the Tennessee border in southeastern Kentucky, and I would say Tennessee and Louisville are the foremost rivals. So what did you learn about those rivalries as you came into the Kentucky program?
I knew the Louisville rivalry is a really big thing, and I knew Kentucky and Tennessee didn't like each other. Those are the two that I really knew about, and I was pretty upset whenever our game at home against Louisville got canceled because I knew that was early in the season. We didn't get that many fans because it was freezing out, and it's not the best baseball weather, and that was our first game where we really would experience a hefty amount of people at our game. So I was kind of bummed out about that one. But luckily we got to go up there and, win in such a dramatic fashion.
Yep.
But, I heard how crazy it is for the rivalries, and I never expected to be like how it was. But that rivalry is something in sports that is probably one of the best things in sports, is to have a rivalry like that. And, being able to compete against those two teams was fun, and it was awesome. And, I'll never cheer for Tennessee or Louisville ever again because I went to Kentucky. So, I didn't really like Tennessee that much going into
One
Kentucky,
of us.
But
yeah,
I didn't really like them too much going into Kentucky. So I was like, oh, I can't wait to play these guys just to see what kind of atmosphere that brings. And that was our first big sellout that we had, was the Tennessee Kentucky game. And that was my first taste of true BBN support. And, that Friday night game was just so much fun.
Yeah.
And it's memories that, I'll hold on to for a long time. And I know a lot of people in the state of Kentucky and the city of Lexington will hold on to it for a while. And I just can't be more grateful to be a part of that and be the reason why people are holding on to memories. So those rivalries are something that makes everybody smile at the end of the day, even though if you hate each other so much, you'll be grateful for the teams that you play against, especially when it's that big of a rivalry.
Absolutely. You just played, correct me if I'm wrong, the longest season of your career. You just, you played all the way till June. So
yeah.
How's the body feel after that grind? How's the arm? How's the shoulder? How are you after, doing a full season, man?
Yeah, I feel great. I was going into my 6th year, and I was like, my body feels every bit of it. And being able to have the facilities and everything that Kentucky gave us made my body feel 10 times better throughout the season. And that's why I feel so good now. My arm was a little struggling at the back half of, the season. And going in Omaha, I remember I told Coach Rozelle the morning of the Florida game, I said, look, the chances of me having a career after this are so slim. I'll do anything it takes. If you need me for 2 innings this game and then we win and you guys need me for tomorrow, that night, because we had a doubleheader, I was like, I'll do it. Because, I knew that, I might not have a career after this year. This might be my last one playing baseball. And so I wanted to do everything it took. But my arm was definitely was definitely hurting a little bit, but my body felt good. It was just my arm. My mind felt good. My body felt good. I was dealing with a little bit of hamstring problem in my right leg towards the back half, but I played through it. I didn't really want to say no to it because it wasn't going to hurt me more, and I was going to throw my arm out if I had to. So it feels good to be back home, relaxed a little bit, and my body's definitely recovering. So it feels good.
Good stuff. Got a couple more quick ones, and definitely gonna let you get back to relaxing. Everybody knows Coach Minge and all the players, Nicholson, yourself, Petre, McCarthy, all those guys. But you mentioned Coach Rozelle, Dan Rozelle, the pitching coach, and baseball you got specific. You got a pitching coach, you got a hitting coach, just like football, you got a position coach. So give us a little something about Coach Rozelle, because maybe those that may not know as much about him, a little story or a little something about the way he is. Give us a little bit of Coach Rozelle.
Coach Rozelle is the ultimate competitor. He wanted nothing but best of us, and he held us to such a high level because he is such a competitor himself. And he played baseball in college, and he knows what it takes to become great at the sport, and he knows everything that he's so smart, mental wise and baseball wise, to where he was able to nitpick us as to a microscopic level. And some of us might not have liked it. I mean, at times I didn't like it, but he knew that was for the best of us. And every single day, the energy that he would bring to us was phenomenal for him to even do that. Because, I've told people this before, it's harder to be a college coach than to be a student athlete. And for him, Coach Rozelle, to show up every single day with love for us and love for the game, and to have a competitive vibe to himself was unreal for our pitching staff to be in front of. And I know a lot of us picked up on what he did and picked up on his emotions to where it made us better. Every single day he got so mad at us for the littlest things. We're in between on our catch play 0 to 40 feet. He wants us throwing the ball at our partner's knees because that's, you don't want to leave the ball up whenever you're throwing off the mound. So even little things like that, to where if you just make one bad throw from 0 to 40 from 40 feet away, he would just get on you in a second and be like, that's not how you play catch play. Big. And that right there alone, to be able to come every single day to practice and never let one thing really slip, is I give props to him to do that, because he's handling his family outside of baseball, and then he has his baseball family, and then he has everything to do with coaching. And he was just one of the best pitching coaches I've ever had. And he told us this all the time. He would love to be able to go out there and do it again. And this shows his competitive side. He told us, I would love to go out there and do what you guys do, but I can't. So this is why I get so frustrated at you guys whenever you guys don't do what you have to do, because he's so eager to have that competitive side to him ever again. So he gets so mad or not really mad, he just gets upset with us because he knows what's best for us. And that's that was one thing of his competitive side. And he says, yeah, I go home and I sit there and I play video games with my younger son, and he gets all competitive. Coach Rozelle gets competitive even playing video games, because he just loves that competitive nature, and he has that competitive nature. And that's the best way to put Coach Rozelle. Absolute competitor, absolute dog, and he's a phenomenal pitching coach. And to be able for him to take me under his wing for 1 year, I became a better person, a better pitcher, and all around just a better athlete. And that's Coach Rozelle for you.
That's awesome, man. Last thing, man, I saw on the bios that you like to snowboard when you get some free time. So how nice are you when you get the board strapped on and get on some snow, man? Are you pretty nice on snowboard?
Yeah. I used to be pretty good. I had to stop. My senior year of high school, I went up for a trip, and this is when I was pretty good. I went up to the App State to go snowboarding, and it was towards the end of the run, end of the day, super nice, like 9 o'clock at night, iced over. We were all hitting jumps all day, and took a tumble going off a jump. I don't remember anything from it. The last thing I remember is being about 20 feet in the air. I hit my head, and so I had to take a pause from snowboarding for the past 6 years. I haven't been able to go. And my uncle owns a mountain house in West Virginia, and it's right on a ski slope, right on a mountain. And now that I think baseball is over with, I'm so eager to get out there and snowboard again. I've been out to some of the mountains in West Virginia multiple times. I've been to all the North Carolina mountains in high school, and it's an experience. Snowboarding is pretty fun because you're in with nature snowboarding wise, and you're just kind of like free. You feel like you go like 20 miles an hour down a mountain, and you're strapped into a little plastic board, and it's like, oh, well, I could die right now, but you just gotta trust yourself. So it's that adrenaline rush that I miss. I'm a big adrenaline junkie. So being able to, once winter comes, I'll definitely be heading up and snowboarding again. And it's something that I've missed to do, but I'm eager to get back there because it's I might not play sports again, so being able to go snowboard puts me on a little competitive side with my brother.
Yeah.
I got an older brother that loves to snowboard also. So me and him always raced on the mountain. So I'll be able to do that all over again. And I'm just trying to enjoy retirement right now. It's
Here we
it's
go.
gorgeous here. It's gorgeous here right now.
It sure is.
I haven't had any complaints, and I hope baseball's not over yet. The draft's coming up in about a week and a half. See what happens, but I'd love to keep playing baseball. But if not, guess I gotta start my life and get a job and figure out what to do. So
yeah, well, wish you all the best. Wish you all the best with the draft.
thank you.
Appreciate everything you did. Coming and everything you gave to Kentucky baseball this past season, and a huge role in this historic season, and you played a big part in it. And Terry was out there watching you in Omaha. We enjoyed watching you all throughout the journey.
I was acting a fool up in the stands, like when the home run went over in the 10th inning, I lost track of it, and I look at the fielder, and he just kind of, like I told you, Vinny, he just relaxed, and then I'm like, did it go over? And like all this, and I can't thank you all enough for that. It was just, it was a special moment, man. It really was. It's going to go down in Kentucky fan history because that was fantastic. So thank you again, Johnny. Y'all did fantastic and represented us well all year, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys. I'll be up in Kentucky. I'll come back. I'll come back and visit. I'll come on back. Games and
I
definitely will.
You're always welcome, man. No doubt. From the fans and of course, the coaches and everybody that you just, competed with for this past season. So enjoy relaxing, enjoy being back home.
Matt May will let you back.
Yeah.
He will. He will.
That's right.
I gotta come back up to get my SEC ring anyways. I gotta come back to the SEC champion ring. So
that's right.
Matt May and I, we used to hang around during our undergrad years at UK. I won't give out too much details, but we had a good time way back when in the 90s. So don't let him fool you with his button down ways now. We had some good times. So.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, Johnny. Have a good one, man.
Appreciate you, Johnny, and love to have you back on again sometime. But thank you so much for you don't even know us, and you're like, I'll hop on with these dudes. So we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for inviting me, man.
Yes, sir.
All right,
take care, Johnny.
Right. Take it easy.
All right. Johnny Hummel, UK reliever, coming on here, man. That was a lot of fun. TBU saw him play in person in Omaha. BBN enjoyed everything he did, and he was a good young man, man.
It was a special moment. It just, how I like to talk. I just took it in, man. I just took it in. Just after the game, like I said, because Ben, who I went with, was talking about he is in Omaha, one of Kate's friends, and he was the one that invited me to come. Because my thing was, I'm going regardless. If I gotta pay a scalper or whatever, I'm going to watch Kentucky in the College World Series. But he was like, he reached out and said, "Hey, you got some tickets? Do you want to come?" I'm like, "Well, yeah." And just met up with him, and you know how it is when you go visit somebody in their town. He's showing me all the stuff, and the good thing about Omaha is, yeah, there's big hotels right next to the stadium,
Mm-hmm.
and they got all this stuff right by the stadium. And it was just after the game, man. It was great. It was just a great feeling. Like, I know it wasn't like a championship, but it felt like it. It felt like it.
Yeah.
It just it felt like a championship. And
Just
all these
feel
little
it.
kids with their Kentucky stuff, and some of the old people, older than myself. I mean, when I start looking back and all this kind of stuff, I tell you what caught me off guard, man, was with the basketball. They want to play men's want to play St. John's. They want to play Rick for the 30th anniversary, and I'm like, 30th anniversary. Good Lord, I remember that like it was nothing. But just a great feeling. The team was great. Yeah. So Johnny got to come back, got to get his ring, got to get his, got to be there when they put the College World Series out there.
Yep. Put some hardware. We got hardware to put up in Kentucky Proud Park, man.
Absolutely. And it was just the thing that I really liked, and some of the other fans liked, was the enthusiasm of the Kentucky team. Florida doesn't like it, like the shenanigans or whatever. But that's what really endeared the team. And, it made sense for those guys just to walk to the hotel. And he wasn't lying. The hotel was like literally across the street. Like it was right there. So it just worked out great. It was a great moment. It was just, I can't say enough about it. Yeah, so they need to go back again, but I don't think it may not be the same, because that first game was just like I've been telling you for weeks, man. Like, this is Omaha. Yeah. This is the College World Series. Yeah. And there's the UK logo out there. Even watching, because they keep all the team names out there. And I tuned in for Tennessee, Texas A&M. I'm like, that's right, Kentucky was there. Like it just, I don't know. It was a good thing. I was glad that I went. Like I said, it was a bucket list to go. And with Kentucky there, it's only 2 hours away. I was like, I got to.
Just be able to go, and like you said, you just soaked it up. You just was it John Anderson? Just let it wash over you on Sports Center, and that's awesome, man.
Well, and it was at the memorabilia tents, all the merch, right? And I'm like, I got to pinch myself.
Yeah.
This is the UK logo. That's my logo. That's College World Series.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it sounds silly, but I would be doing the same thing if Kentucky was in the Rose Bowl. Like,
yeah.
It's the Rose Bowl, Kentucky here.
Yeah. That famous sunset on the mountains that we see every year. Now Kentucky playing in it, Yeah.
Which my dad went to 2 or 3 Rose Bowls when he was in the Navy. Didn't even come up to like, I mean, this was, I was married. I think the girls were born. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, the sun setting on the Rose Bowl. He's like, it's great in person. I'm like, what? He's like, oh yeah, I went to the 56 and 57 Rose Bowl. I'm like, what? He's like, oh yeah, like, how are you just now telling me this? Because we used to watch the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
We used to watch it all the time, and it never ever came up that he went. Back when Keith Jackson was doing it. Oh, Nelly, let me tell you. Like, take it back. And I'm like, it never came up.
That's so cool.
The same way Mama B never told me she went to school with the guy that co-wrote Love and Happiness.
Wow. See. the stuff they do, man. And just before we were born, we think we know them. We had no idea. Like I told you about my parents. I was telling, talking to mom about the Apollo. She's like, yeah, me and your daddy went there. We went to the Apollo. I was like, what? Yeah. She said, just because, you think you know everything since you've been born don't mean you know everything from before, that whole kind of thing. And, she had to set me straight on it. And yeah, we've been up to the Apollo. Oh, okay. Okay, then.
But so what else is there to cover? We talked about the draft.
Yeah, we talking about how Dalton Connect gonna fit? What's just how you is he?
I have no. Look, man, I have no idea because I don't know.
Reeves is there. LeBron, Rui, how's he? What's you envision?
I have no idea. I honestly don't. Longtime listeners know. I think, as we kind of touched on earlier, your front office has to have a plan. And again, the Lakers' whole plan of give us the top 2 of the top 10, we'll figure it out. There's a lot of interpretation to figure it out, right? It's beneficial if your number 3 is James Worthy and your 4 and 5 is Michael Cooper and Byron Scott, right? Like that works itself out. Mm-hmm. Or, if you've got Shaq and Kobe, okay, that puts you in a good position. So I don't know, because I don't know if is Connect the guy that's going to take him over the top. But maybe, because what killed us this year against the Nuggets was, it was LeBron and AD scoring 80% of the points for the first 3 quarters and then just running out of gas.
Mm-hmm.
So the game they won, it was, hey, we need to get this balance scoring. That way these guys can be your closers. So can Connect come in and do that? I don't know. I ain't trusting nobody from Tennessee. I ain't seen nobody from Tennessee do anything in the NBA worth a darn since Allen Houston, and he from Louisville.
That's right.
So he ain't even regular Tennessee.
That's right. That's what they have to come to Kentucky anytime they need a shooter. Allen Houston, Chris Lofton, they always come. They always get one from the Bluegrass State.
That's their whole get down. So I don't know, man. Like, again, I don't know that the Lakers have been a well-run franchise. They just seemingly win a lot. Like, but I don't think other than Jerry West, basically like, okay, Magic, Kareem, get it together. Okay, Shaq and Kobe, get it. But other than that, I don't know, to answer your question. But LeBron's run, I've seen people call it a catastrophic failure, and it's hard for me to go with that because he did win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
But did his run make me feel wanting? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's one of those. I would have thought that we would have had a couple more deeper runs.
Yeah. So this is the eve of the Nathan's, right? Nathan's hot dog eating contest is tomorrow, right?
That's right. No Joey Chestnut.
So I'm gonna put a couple poll questions out because we got into this a couple weeks ago. We kind of went deep into that and rock, paper, scissors and all kinds of stuff a couple episodes ago. And
that's right.
And for everybody that knows, that listens to this show, Kentucky is the nucleus, and then you're not, Cowboys, Niners, Rockets, Lakers. We kind of disagree on everything else. So you watch the Nathan's hot dog eating contest closely. I usually never tune in at all. I might catch a highlight on SportsCenter. So since you follow it, I'm gonna put the little poll question up at Cast Talk Wednesday. In your opinion, will it get more viewers or less now that Joey's out? Because somebody else is going to be a new winner, because Joey was probably going to win again had he been there. So is it going to be more, hey, let's come in and watch this, there's no Joey? Because was there Joey Chestnut fatigue? Like we get tired of seeing the Patriots win every year. was that the case with this competition?
Can you really get tired of watching an adult man eat 70 hot dogs in 10 minutes? Can you really get tired of that? I don't think you can. But there's a changing of the guard here with the competitive eating. You got no Kobayashi, has been out for a while. Now Joey Chestnut's gone, and a lot of guys, Eater X isn't in it anymore. Badlands Booker is not in it. So it's an opportunity for somebody to step up. Like we're who's going to be the next person to capture the imagination of the country? Because the thing is, like, no one was coming within 10 to 15 dogs of Joey Chestnut.
Yeah, crazy.
So that's the thing is you need someone to get on that level. This is going to sound ridiculous, but if the winner is only getting 40 hot dogs down, that ain't moving the needle because we've seen Joey do upwards of 70. Like
right.
That's the thing. Like so yes, I think it'll still be a thing, but what has pushed the hot dog contest to becoming a thing was Kobayashi and then Joey Chestnut. So you need someone to rise up out of the ashes and take up that. You need that. Now who that is, it's going to be wide open.
So 40 is not going to do it, but if we have, because he was eating 70 something, right?
He was in the 60s because they went from 12 to 10 minutes a few years ago.
So second place, if he's in the 60s, the second place was in the mid 40s, lower 50s, 15 behind him. So if you have maybe, like you said, a winner just eating 40 by themselves isn't going to do it. But maybe if you get the next two and it goes, 52 to 51 down to the wire, maybe.
Yeah, you got to do something. And that was the thing is Chestnut was winning so easily.
Yeah.
You're watching the counter and all that. I could do without the zoom up close-ups that they do during the contest. Just stay back. Because watching people wolf that down with a close-up like this, like, okay, all right, yeah. We don't need that. But I'm still gonna watch. Because the wife was like, "You gonna watch it?" Yeah. I've been watching it for 15 years. Yeah, I'm watching the hot dog contest because me and the girls watch it. They like, did you see it? Yeah, I saw.
And 10:45 for the women, according to this, and noon for the men. So, all right.
Yeah. They split it out a couple years ago, and it was a shame. Now I understand why they did it. Simply because the women have to eat more of their body weight. Like I tell you, Sonia Thomas, the Black Widow, she was a top 5 eater back with Kobayashi and Joey Chestnut, but she was only like 98 pounds. So that's the thing. But look, I'm excited. I'm going to watch it. It's what I've been doing every 4th of July, like I said, for 15, 16 years.
Fair enough. So we got to get back to, we mentioned Sydney. Maybe that was before we started. We mentioned Sid. We mentioned Coach Green, Coach Floria. Maybe it was before we started recording. But Sydney out here just doing Sydney stuff. She just breaking her own world record. She just, she's basically Katie Ledecky folks on the track because she in the screen by herself. And then everybody else, the rest of the field is she's secretariat, doing, that's how she's doing the field. Just pure dominance. And she's just tanking around as she's, whooping everybody. Let me try this. Let me dabble with that. Let me see how this is going to work. Her time with hurdles is better than a bunch of people if they didn't have hurdles. So just insane what she's doing. Man.
Go Cats, man. She's a fast cat, man. Like she's creeping up that Mount Rushmore of Kentucky athletes.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, she's breaking her own world records. knock wood, everything goes well. She's gonna get some more gold in Paris. It's gonna be tough to argue.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just
Because she showed up with some U.S. records on her resume when she showed up in Lexington.
yeah. Yeah.
But
And
Kentucky fans, this is why
there we go. That's it.
when the athletic department has to give some money to some of the other sports, I know football should get all the money, right? Men's basketball should get all the money, but you got to give. Scared money don't make money, so you gotta put money out there. That's why you have a Coach Green, who's a Hall of Fame coach, who replaced a Hall of Fame coach. That's how you get stars like Sydney McLaughlin to come. So if you're like me, I'm going to be saying go USA, also go Cats.
Yes.
Then you have to say, well, I'm glad that they invested in the women's track program and the men's program too. But that's part of it. They had pictures of Memorial Coliseum's renovation finishing up. You've got to invest in those sports as well.
Yep. The floor looked beautiful in Memorial. Can't wait to go up there and catch a game in a new venue, renovated venue, and see Coach Brooks's new look squad. So yeah, can't wait to get up there this fall.
Oh yeah, look, I'm telling you, this upcoming season, man. I think football. I think they can get to 9 wins this year. I think women's basketball is going to be better.
No doubt. No doubt.
I think that because this year we finished outside the top 20 in the Directors Cup.
Yeah. Because let's see, and we had tennis doing what it did. Football slipping to 7-5. Another early exit in basketball. Women's basketball, bless Kyra Elsie's heart, and she's landed on her feet at Duke, but it was after that SEC tournament win.
And it was just 2 years ago, per my Facebook memories, we finished number 9 in the country. We've been a top 15 program, top 10 program for the last 10, 12 years. So we got to get that. We got to get that back. But I'm feeling good about next year. Volleyball going to volleyball.
Yep.
Baseball. Hey, it was great. Hey, we got to come to Omaha again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that now that we can catch our breath on the athletic year for Kentucky.
That's it. Yeah. So, and it's right around the corner. We're already to the point of the year where SEC Network is doing every school. Feinbaum's off. We already had the Kentucky Day yesterday, where you had the football win in Florida, you had the football win in Louisville, you had volleyball in there, 2 gymnastics wins. So the takeover for all the schools, and they already had Oklahoma and Texas already in there, and then Kentucky. I think it's LSU today, but that's already where we are on the calendar. We are there, and then we got SEC Media Day coming up in a couple of weeks, and then boom, fall camp, and here we go.
Welcome Texas and Oklahoma.
And that's gonna make it a little tougher for volleyball because they do well. We just beat Texas in the championship a couple of years ago, national championship. So they and one of our players transferred there afterwards. So I think she go to Baylor. Did she go to Baylor? Either way, beat them for the chip. So that's had a stranglehold on the SEC. Coach Skinner has, so it'll be that's gonna make it tougher. Softball is gonna be a lot tougher because Oklahoma,
is a machine.
A straight 4-peat. They actually lost 4 or 5 games this year en route to the title. Oh my God! So that's coming to the league now. But I swear this this Texas A&M Texas baseball series, I think I'm looking forward to that more than I am Texas A&M football. Now that homeboy left A&M for Austin, I can't wait for that weekend series, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then you got to go back to College Station. Just like Cal coming back to Lexington, you got to have that man go back to College Station to face all them weirdos and the Collie Dog and the cadets.
Look,
I can't wait for that. I can't wait.
Look, ain't nobody mad that he went from A&M to Texas because that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, I'm not saying that these schools are equivalent to A&M in their weirdness, but if you're coaching Eastern, Western, Moorhead, Murray, and you get a call to come to UK, you're gonna you gotta take the call, you gotta go, right? All right, I'm out. So nobody's faulting him for leaving College Station going to Austin. That's fine. But don't play in my face with it, man. These coaches get so indignant and all this kind of stuff. And like I said, we talked about it last week. They preach accountability, but practice very little of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. SEC. Hey, we got 25 teams or whatever it is.
We on our way. We literally are. What is it? 16 now? Yeah.
16, whatever. And and if you're Vanderbilt, you're thankful every single day that you hitched on when you did. Otherwise, they'd be on the outside looking in.
Yeah, they really would. I watched the little SEC shorts or one of them, the dude on YouTube, but they have. But it was welcoming Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah, I saw they did Kentucky pretty good. I can't. Sometimes I'm like, come on now.
Yeah, we still
come on now. Come on.
A little disrespect. Get a little shade sometimes. Funny Man was on there, and the dude for Sewanee. He was like, from 1931.
I'm not the step conference. I'm the conference that stepped up. Yeah. I love that stuff. But sometimes look, we trying to do football now.
We are.
Professional.
Woo.
Oh, I ain't no casual, Mr. Hugh, when it comes to competitive eating. I'm telling you, man. I watched the World Series of competitive eating. It's been a couple years ago now. Like I told you, Tom Arnold was the color guy. I haven't seen it since.
What's Tom doing right now?
Yeah, well, as long as the check's clear. So, but the preliminary rounds, you had to eat all this stuff. But the one, I tell this all the time, it was like, I don't know, a gallon of mayonnaise. And it's just, exactly. And the play-by-play guy was like, this is different because it's not really a solid or a liquid. So you have to have a game plan to eat this mayonnaise. Man, yes. It's wild.
Goodness gracious. And Michelle wants City body fat drop dead gorgeous. Well, this competitive eating is not going to help the I don't know.
Hey, but go Sid go. I love that she is, she's in the Gatorade commercial with Asia Wilson and Caitlin Clark. I'm like, go Sid go. Like, as much as I'm going to cheer for who is it? Bam, Booker.
Yeah.
Who else am I missing on the men's basketball team? Because we got 3, right?
Let's see.
It's Bam. I know it's Bam and Booker. Who am I missing?
Anthony Davis, right?
Is Davis is AD playing?
Let me see. 80 24. Let me pull that up. And that snuck up on us too. It's really literally time for.
Yeah, it's almost time for the Olympics, which I do love me some Olympics. I love the weird sports. Where they have to. In the winter, I like when they have to ski and shoot because I'm like,
yeah. Curry,
SGA.
Booker, Edwards.
Hold on.
True, he Canadian.
He's Canadian, yeah.
Anthony, Anthony Davis, Adebayo, and Booker.
Yep. Yeah. So there we go. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping they can get gold.
Yeah, and the world is still coming, but you gotta represent. Your France is coming.
Hey, hey, with Wimby and
Sar and
yeah, and
uh,
Rudy.
they still let Rudy
Hey,
on the team. Rudy might not even be. We got Wimby,
Fran,
man. Get on out of here, Rudy. We don't need you no more, bro.
France may not be able to score, but hey, you got them jokers in the paint, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to watch the women play.
Yo,
That's the most dominant team we have as a country is the women's basketball program.
that's right.
They are at a different level.
Mhm.
And that's because the men, we got the gold. I mean, we got the bronze in 04.
Yo.
And then was it bronze in 88? I think it was bronze in 88 because that's when we were like, oh, y'all sending pros.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I've seen this all across the timeline, just clips of the 92 Dream Team.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to tell these young kids how ridiculous that was. Because if you remember, like the buildup, it was basically we're sending pros.
Mm-hmm.
A word.
Yeah.
And then there was just that shot of Magic, Bird, and Michael. And it was like, oh, yeah, you have piqued my interest with this. And I just remember the first time it's Magic on a break, and it's like Drexler on one side and Mike on the other one. These things, it's like, oh, this is a thing. This is fun, right? A great book by Jack McCallum on that team that goes into that scrimmage.
Yeah.
That they had really, really well, and it gives a whole backstory. Look, we all know why Isaiah Thomas wasn't on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Mike didn't want him, and Magic didn't fight. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Those were your two.
Yo.
Because if Magic would have fought, I think they would have figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
But Magic was like, well, okay. Because because MJ is MJ at that point. He is ascending.
Yo.
And then you got, of course, Magic and Bird being who they were.
Mm-hmm.
But Larry is like, look, I ain't gonna play that much. Back's not doing what it needs to do, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But just the stories of the teams hanging out. One of my favorite anecdotes is John Stockton pulled the Johnny. The bus was on their way to somewhere, and John Stockton got off the bus and walked to the venue. And nobody knew who he was.
Yeah. Yeah. Just blending in Barcelona, boy.
Yeah. There's so much about that team. I don't know if you've seen the clip of Jamal Mashburn telling stories about that. I'll find it and send it to you. But basically, because the college kids beat the pros, like in their first scrimmage. But as it went, Chuck Daly was like gaming the system, and right when, and it was you need to read the book because it's really good. Because basically, the college kids were winning, and Jordan was basically like, I'll be damned. And was getting ready to go to Mike mode. And Daly was like, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And they kept the score on the scoreboard when the press came in. And so Mashburn's talking about, because he was on that team, and he said some of his teammates were talking trash to the Dream Team. And he was like, this is not great. And he was basically it was Rodney Rogers, who's a dude we need to talk about more as far as like college basketball. He said he was guarding Larry Bird and said something like Larry Bird with his broke back, something like that. And then Larry Bird did his patented, this is where I'm going. I'm coming over the left shoulder and he said, 5 or 6 straight trips. Magic came down, feeding Bird, and just told him what he was going to do. I'm going to the left block. I'm going to and of course the pros won that. But that 92 Dream Team, hey, that was a moment, man. It was
Mhm.
just absolutely a moment with that. The same year as remember Dan and Dave.
Yes.
They were
Wow.
talking about, woo, buddy,
Woo, goodness
Reebok.
gracious.
That's why you
Yes,
Reebok, man.
absolutely, man. Uh-huh.
Oh, TB, do you have corn or beans behind your house? I think it's beans
Mm.
because the corn's it's not high enough to be uh, corn. So I think it's beans. It's supposed to be knee high by the 4th of July, is what they say with corn. So I think it's just beans out there.
All right. Good stuff. Well, man, we'll see how the contest goes. See what happens between now and then. It's a little slow period coming up, but it's all right. And we got a couple weeks from now. We'll have the La Familia playing in the tournament coming up at Rupp on the 19th. Squad is loaded. The twins, James Young, Daniel Orton.
The crazy thing is, like, all those guys play within like 5 or 6 years of each other, and like nobody was on the same team. That just blows my mind, because I'm like, Deron Lamb didn't play with the Harrison twins. Like, that just it feels weird. All these guys and nobody played. Nobody played on the same team. So
Willie's back.
I'm looking forward to La Familia.
And we get, don't forget, the big three comes on the weekends, and now Ice Cube putting it on Twitter, so you can watch the games on the big three of Twitter account. I think Briscoe was there and Jody Meeks. I think three cats over there too. So
Briscoe's found himself a home there, man. He's been balling,
making plays, man. He sure has. So those little things that kind of tide you over through the slow time. And we don't do a lot of recruiting. Everybody knows that, but the kid from Western Hills, Javion Campbell, same high school as Wandale, hadn't even played football, just dabbles in it and picks Kentucky over Alabama and Auburn and Miami. And as a defensive lineman, he's been playing basketball. So for Vince Marrow, them to go and isolate that talent in state and keep him in state, props to them. And of course, looking forward to seeing what kind of career he can have. But to just, okay, all right, I'll go. Let me go play a little D-line over here for Western Hills and get like 14, 15 sacks and get on the radar nationally and have everybody want to get me for football. Okay, then.
Make it, we keep getting these in-state kids. It's making the Brahmin wealth kind of look a little suspect. It looks sus, as the kids say.
Because they pretty much the same distance from Louisville to Frankfurt as if Frankfurt to Lexington, and they right there.
Makes it look mid, man.
It's like,
look at me using Gen Z slang.
So yeah, good stuff, man. We don't dive into it, but that was pretty noteworthy. That's pretty impressive to just step on the high school field and just start, enter, your inner Warren Sapp, John Randall, Charles Haley. As soon as you step out there and get offers from all these schools.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Congratulations, young fella, and we look forward to seeing you when you come to Lexington. Got one more year of high school football this year, and I think he's still gonna hoop, and then he'll be coming. So cool stuff, man. Appreciate you as always, TB. Everybody just keep, everybody, hope everybody continues to do well. Thank you every week. Thanks to Johnny Hummel for hopping on here.
Absolutely.
Appreciate him. And Michelle and Jason and everybody in the comments, everybody that watches and retweets and follows and subscribes, please do so. We'll be back next week and we'll do
it again.
Another fun episode. So until next week, another episode of Cast Talk Wednesday, BS3 Network, and we'll holler at everybody later.